Could Michael Jordan go left?
This is what I'm dealing with.
This is the hypocrisy of idiocy that is going on right now
This is what the
today.
people want to see,
Could
man.
Michael Jordan go left?
You haven't heard we done with the 90s?
No, but listen what I'm saying. Let me see.
Yeah. Help him.
I'm
Help him.
messing with you. I'm messing with you.
All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So I was kicking back watching this podcast with Mark Jackson and Kenny Smith. It's called Come and Talk to Me. I didn't know this existed, honestly, but I watched the whole part one with Kenny Smith, and I was on my way digging through part two, got about 20 minutes in and realized, wow, like Kenny is heated up. And he's heated up about a lot of the stuff that we're heated up about the we done with the 90s and the disrespect from the current generation to the previous generations of basketball players. So it's one of those cases. I stopped it and I knew, like, hey, I gotta save this for a reaction so we can all check this out. But so I don't know, outside of like the first like 2 minutes I'm gonna show you, I don't know where this is heading, but I know he's heated. So anyways, I don't want to do a long intro here. I'm going to link the original video down below. It seems like a cool podcast if you guys want to check it out. I am a big fan of Mark Jackson, but yeah, not a long intro. Let's get right to the meat and potatoes here, everybody. So the original link's going to be in the description, as always. If you want to check out their channel, please leave this video a like if you get a chance right now. That'll help a ton. And yeah, let's do this.
There is a, how do I put it nicely? There's a generation of people who have no clue of their success and why they have it. Have no clue. Because I was an econ major in North Carolina. It's always just a supply and demand. Mm-hmm. Because you make a 5 million, 10 million, 15 million, doesn't mean that you're worth that. It's just the demand of that. But how did that demand get created? Like, so I see players today who have holes in their game, millions of, like not millions, a lot of holes in their games, but they make $20 million. And I have a saying, it's hard to work hard when you're sleeping in silk robes. So
that's a good line.
They don't understand that they're not really that good. And that's what I hate when they go, when I see the podcast and they're like, oh, this generation is that. This generation of basketball players are very good individually and very good talent, but also the Globetrotters were well.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Yeah.
No, I can't let you do this. Come on.
No, and that's where I stopped it, and I knew, like, I have to check this out with you guys, because when he said the Harlem Globetrotters were also good individually, I thought about my Phoenix Suns with our 3 stars, no role players, no leader, nobody knows their roles. Yeah, it's true. Individual star talent thrown in together on a team does not mean it's a good team or a successful team. Like, it's not good basketball.
Come back. No. I can't let you do that. That's crazy.
DeMarcus Haynes could slide on the floor and dribble through his legs.
Oh my goodness. This dude said.
And Goose Gibbons could throw it from half court.
The Globetrotters.
And Meadowlark Lemon. Curly Neal had the
That's
handle.
what we doing?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'm just saying. So now you have to refocus of the thought. Like, that is a very appealing to watch.
Yeah.
But there's a content of excellence that gets you the basket. There's a content of excellence. No matter how many times I pop, it always comes down to a 1-2 pull-up.
Yeah.
It comes down to 1-2. Can you do a 1-2 pull-up? That's it. So I could have done all of that and just go 1-2 pull-up. It just comes down to that. So they're
Thinking of James Harden right off the bat here with that. It's true. At the end of the day, he could dribble for 23 seconds, but he's going to end up with the same move. But for James Harden, it's a step back 3. You know, so you didn't have to burn 23 seconds of dribble, bounce, bang, bang, just to end up with a step back 3. Just get to it.
the ignorance.
Look that way. You ain't got to tell me.
The ignorance of what it is. Like, wait, let me say this. They go, oh, and it wasn't athletic. I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
Larry Nance is more athletic than Larry Nance Jr.
Preach.
Yeah.
You think about that. You telling me that our era wasn't athletic. The dad is more athletic than the son.
And for those of you who don't know, look up his dunk contest performance. Larry Nance, senior, much more athletic than junior.
With you, but I gotta push back a little bit, man. It's only basketball. Basketball is the only sport that has this type of mentality, because we don't see Tom Brady and say, "Oh, he can't be better than whoever." Any all-time
Johnny
great.
Unitas?
Yeah, he can't be better than Johnny Unitas. He's not getting touched. Like he can't be better than Joe Montana. He's not getting sacked. We don't hear that. We give Tom Brady his flowers. But when it comes to basketball, we constantly hear about, oh, it's a comparison between today's players and the players of the 80s.
But I think that
90s.
comparison started initially
Do it,
with
Kenny.
us on salary. It
Okay.
wasn't skill level. It was like, yo, these dudes are getting paid, the older school guys, not even us, because we caught it like the generational wealth. But they were like, yo, the salaries are crazy.
Yeah.
This guy's not. So that's what they were talking about when they were comparing it. Then the new school said, oh, no, we talking talent. We better than you.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, no, you're not. Like, you wouldn't start on our team.
Yeah, that's the difference between the other sports too, because you never saw Tom Brady diss any, he'd never diss Joe Montana or something like that, It was never dissing previous greats. And I never see that in any other sport other than basketball. The young basketball players are constantly disrespecting the old basketball players. And yeah, like I said, I've never seen that in any other sport. And it's a very recent thing.
Like, you couldn't start.
This is
This
crazy.
guy argued with me.
This
I said
is
Nick Van
crazy.
Exel. Nick Van Exel is a max player today, averaging 20
Oh, without
plus
question.
points.
Nick Van Exel will be a max player.
Oh, he'd
He's
be
a
great.
guy who can shoot the three.
I
He
didn't
can
really
handle the
argue
ball.
that. I didn't argue that. Nick Van Exel was an amazing player, and he probably
He
would
would
be a max player.
player. So my logic of today, when I listen, I look at it with, I understand, because you haven't lived it. You haven't lived that moment when Michael Jordan was scoring the baskets. So you can't see it. But I've lived the moment even when LeBron was playing Detroit and he had 20, I think it was 30 straight points.
Yeah.
I lived that moment.
Me too.
I lived the moment of what Joker's doing. I understand all the moments. But the skill level, because you can shoot the ball from half court
Yeah.
and it goes in, doesn't make you an impactful player. It doesn't. And there are certain guys that can translate in each era, for sure. But there are guys who are average players that think that they would have translated to be great players, and it's insane.
It is.
It's insane. And
That's what I hate about the notion, is because that's all that's going on. Like, for instance, Michael Jordan's the only talented player in the 80s and 90s. Like, that kind of blasphemy, that means that everybody else sucked. Therefore, anybody from this era could go out there and be a star just like MJ. Like, your average player. And that's the level of disrespect, because it's not just saying like, hey, I think today's era basketball players are better than they were in the 80s or 90s. Let's have a debate. It's not that. It's gotten so bad that it's like, yeah, even your average player nowadays would be better than your stars back then, because they were all plumbers and firemen. It's so insulting.
I got it. I'm gonna pull the horn out, man. Get it, man. We on the podcast. I'm gonna pull the horn because, like, and they go, well, Kenny talks like. Sometimes I get this. Kenny talks like he was that guy. I was that guy.
Yeah.
No, I was. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this: if there was a party that everybody who won a NBA championship, I'd be at that party.
Yeah.
Comfortably.
If there was a party where everybody had back-to-back championships, I'd be at that party too.
Yeah.
If there was a party where everybody who won college basketball player of the year, I was basketball times player of the year in college basketball, I'd be at that party. If there was a party and they said the best 50 players of high school basketball that ever played, McDonald's All-American sent me a ball, voted me one of the top 30, I'd be at that party too.
Yeah.
So I've been at a lot of parties. So, like, yeah, I've seen a lot of people, and I've seen the great people in those parties.
Yeah, and going back to the athleticism thing, look up Kenny Smith, look up his height, and then look up his dunk contest performance. Dude was athletic.
So you're just average, bro. Like, you're average.
Yeah.
You were average then. You'd been average then.
This dude, what are you drinking? Is that an energy drink?
No, I'm with
we
them.
slip something
You
in this
wouldn't have
energy
been
drink?
great. You wouldn't have been great because you could shoot the three.
That's what I'm talking
We would have
about.
covered you. We would have guarded you at the 3-point line.
Man,
Now,
I'm
and the
with you.
average player in our era wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Let me take that back. An average player in our era, because of the rule changes, could have been better because it's a scoring league now, where you come. There was no Jack. Was there a term called two-way player when we played?
No.
If you didn't play two ways, you couldn't play. There's no such thing as he's a two-way player because there were very few specialists. So like now, you could be a specialist and get $15 million, and you're looking at your salary and say, "I'm good." No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're just a specialist that shot the ball. Like, no, you didn't.
Yep.
Can you imagine guys trying to guard you without being able to hand check you?
Oh man.
Okay.
I threw the lob.
Oh man. Yeah, being able to face the basket from the top of the key or like from the post and not have to have your back to the basket all the time. My God. Those players in the 80s and 90s would have annihilated with those rules. And that's where this is coming from, is when we say, okay, an average player in today's game, going back to the 80s or 90s, would probably be average to below average. That's because the rules are way tougher in the older era. Now, if you took a guy who's used to and trained to the tougher rules, the tougher defensive rules and the tougher offensive rules, as far as travels and no step backs, no taking 3 to 5 steps, you take that dude who's disciplined in that way and put him in today's game where he has freedom of motion on offense. I'd be scared to see. I would say an average player from the 80s or 90s would be above average now. And an average player from now would be average to below average, depending on their ability to adapt to the harsher rules. And it's not coming from a place of hate. The rule changes are what caused this divide, in my opinion.
Threw the lob. Now.
The hand check rule is the single rule why I feel that players in that era would be better players. It's not because they worked harder or whatever. It's just the rule. Because when you play hand check,
Yeah,
right?
see, he just said it too. I'm glad he said it. It's not the players, it's the rules that changed.
Because they worked harder or whatever. It's just the rule. Because when you play hand check, right? I could get up.
Yeah,
I can stand up. Okay. If you hand check,
Y'all last guest couldn't.
okay.
That was Dave. That was Dave.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So I'm gonna let that go. If you're hand checking me, and this is my camera.
Yep.
This is my camera. Yeah. Okay. So he's hand checking me. I have to, because he's hand checking, I have to turn this way.
Yeah.
Without the hand check, I can face up here. Now I become a better passer because I have my peripheral is now at 75 degrees.
You see
Here
everything.
it's at 50.
Yeah.
I'm a better passer because I can see more. I'm a better ball handler because I can play with it. You can't touch me.
Yep.
I'm a better shooter because now my feet are squared up to the rim. Here, I have to turn and you can see me turn.
Yeah.
Now I can, hey. And I can,
All right. You still moving.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. That's exactly what I was talking about too. Like, that makes the game so much easier.
That was nice.
Yeah, boy.
No, that was nice.
Yeah.
without the hand
Action
check,
Jackson.
it makes, and when people, and this is no disrespect because these guys are great ball handlers, Steph, Kyrie, and all those great, unbelievable. But it makes them better. James Harden, it makes you a better ball handler because you're playing with the ball and no one's touching you. So now the stuff that you do in the playground that we grew up doing in the playground, that's the stuff you could actually do in a game now.
Yeah.
If you went to a playground game and saw Mark Jackson, you saw myself, you saw Kenny Anderson, you saw Shamgard, you saw all these guys from the eras that we come in.
Skip.
You'd be like, what the heck? Oh my. But when you get in the NBA, you can't face up. So it's a different era.
I need you to agree with me where you agreeing with him.
No,
Giving him
I'm
the
just
respect.
letting him get up. That's our guess. It's different when it's you. I know I'm gonna be able to
What
get
is
it
your,
off.
what is your, because you, what would be your beef?
I just want respect for both generations. I just want for, like, I hear what you're saying and I agree with you. But then on the flip side, I'm looking at it like, okay, then LeBron would be a better defender in 1995 because he would be able to hand check.
I'm saying great is great. But
Right.
you average dudes would have been average then too.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the lead singer. We're talking about the background
average
dude.
dudes. Let's say the average dude. There was benefits to y'all time as far as defensively. I'm a better defense with y'all set of rules.
But you're
I'm
still
a
a
better defender.
specialist.
No,
And
no.
it's not you're not inherently a better defender. Like LeBron going to the 80s, he's not inherently a better defender. Now it's you either play great defense or sit your ass on the bench. It doesn't matter how good you are on offense. Look up Steve Kerr. There's a reason why he didn't play much, and then look up his 3-point shooting percentage. You'll understand what I'm saying. So yeah, it doesn't. You're not inherently a better defender. It's either do it or sit your ass down.
I'm saying
You're
as
still a specialist. You're not a
Fair
better
enough.
defender.
Fair enough.
Because you're not a better defender because you're not standing in the corner guarding the guy in the corner.
fair enough.
You have to defend 94 feet.
Yeah.
Where now you have to defend 24 feet because there's no ball pressure from free throw line to free throw line now in the NBA. Then the two corners are just stand there because now they want to do the analytics. So your defense, you would have been a better defender because you couldn't move.
I know the question I gotta ask because you're the perfect guest.
Okay.
Playing at North Carolina with Michael Jordan
In the same backcourt.
In the same backcourt. This is what the people want to know. It's not even me. I'm standing up for the people at this moment.
I forget that Kenny and MJ were together.
Could Michael Jordan go left?
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. No, we're going there?
This is the hypocrisy of idiocy that is going on right now
This is what the
today.
people want to see,
Could
man.
Michael Jordan go left?
You haven't heard we done with the 90s?
Oh, man.
No, but listen what I'm saying.
Help him.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with
No,
you.
no,
I'm
you
messing with
serious.
You know what- you
No,
know
no, I'm not serious. I'm not
You know what-
serious. You don't
you know-
got
He's serious. Mark Jackson. He's like, no, he's serious. I can't believe it. I didn't know we're going this direction. All right. I can't wait to hear Kenny's response. He's gonna kill him. All right, I'm gonna back it up 5, and here we go.
Help him.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with
No,
you.
no,
I'm messing
you
with
serious.
I'm messing with
You know what-
No, I'm not serious. I'm not
You know what,
serious.
you know,
don't
you know
gotta
what that would
explain
be like? That's like saying, can Prince play the guitar?
Right.
That's a great word.
Like, yeah, he had people in the band that played it.
it. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then that's Michael Jordan, man. Like Michael Jordan was the most complete basketball player that's ever lived.
Yeah.
Complete. Like Kareem was just as effective. Certain people could be LeBron at times could be just as effective.
At times.
But the most complete basketball player that ever lived is Michael Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Completeness.
Preach.
So like his ability to do every aspect of basketball at the highest level. And I think that came from going to college. Because in college, the best,
I'm glad you're talking. I said that when he got to the pros, he had no weaknesses.
he had no weaknesses. Because what happens is, what college does, the best coaches are in college basketball. Because there's more. The best ones are there. So they design defenses and offenses that are different from the NBA. So you learn how to play against a zone defense. You learn how to play against a man-to-man, 1-3-1, 2-1-2. You know different defenses. NBA is just strict man-to-man. But your philosophies and thought process is from a totality of all of those defenses. So now the game is easier for you, and you're much more easier. What I always say about Michael, what's different between even the great Kobe Bryant and great LeBron James is he was still the most fundamental basketball player. Like LeBron's IQ is crazy, but the most fundamental, when you watch LeBron, you don't always say he's most fundamental.
Nope.
So correct hand in the passing lane. But
Yeah, he's kinda
that was
cl-
Michael.
yeah,
He
he's
was
clumsy.
the best athlete and the most fundamental because he went to college for 3 years and developed certain things.
And he also never stopped working on his game. You can see him from 84 to 92 transform into a whole different basketball player. And then again, from 92 to 98, transform into a whole different basketball player because he never stopped working on his game.
You know, even I was laughing with my son. He goes, "Oh, you know, I saw you dunking in the league, but you know, you like 3 years of it." I'm like, because I had 4 in college.
Yeah.
I would have never stayed in college for 4 years in today. I was first team All-American. I would have been on a draft board. So I would have never stayed.
Yeah, I think Kenny Smith was drafted like 6 or 7.
It was wrong to leave. Like then it was called hardship. Like it almost meant you were broke. Like, and your family was destitute if you went to the NBA instead of going to college before. That was the stigma that they had on us. So we would everybody, I ain't going to college. I ain't leaving college yet. I ain't broke. I ain't like that. I ain't one of them dudes.
Yeah.
So you stay. So I had 4 years where I'm jumping from the free throw line. That was in college. Then I caught 2 or 3 years in there. So 7 years. So I'm like, you just missed my most athletic years.
Yeah.
It was some of them were in college.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, those 3 years in college, imagine he only went 1 year. Oh my God. Or none. Michael Jordan, most complete basketball player. Y'all average dudes would have been average. Y'all would have been average. You wouldn't have been great. You would not have been. You're a specialist. You might not have been in the league.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, if all you did was play offense, you would not be in the league back in the day. Somebody like Drew Holiday, for instance, is one of those rare ones that we celebrate now because it's like, wow, he can play offense and he plays good defense. Wow, that's your average player back in the day. That's it. Drew Holiday's your average player back in the day, and he's celebrated it in today's league. Drew Holiday could play in the 80s or 90s. Not many other people would last unless they learned how to use more energy on defense than they used on offense, because that's how it was. You couldn't just save your energy for offense like we do now.
There are people that believe, as crazy as it sounds, I've heard this and I'm sure you've heard it, that there's a dude in prison or a dude in the streets that was better than Michael Jordan, just didn't get an opportunity. There's people that believe that.
We used to say stuff like that back then.
That's like saying there's a dude in prison that could have done what Steve Jobs done.
Yeah.
It's not my opinion.
I didn't say you. I said that
Michael Jordan
you heard
is
that
Steve
argument.
Jobs.
I've heard that before.
He's
I've
the
heard
Bill Gates, the Steve Jobs of basketball.
Yeah.
Is there a guy? If he's there, I hope he gets out. But that guy
Depends on what he did.
depending on what he did, I hope he gets out. I hope it was like a Mr. Beast. Because like
It was a
that's
misunderstanding.
what it would have been like.
Yeah.
I hope he gets out. Because that dude, I don't know where he is. There's no one like that. He is the most complete basketball player. And then there's two. Most effective, like LeBron James is effective. He can impact the game. You know that, but I just don't think defensively is where that's the separation to me. Is where defensively we used to run. I don't know if y'all did this. We used to run plays, right? We go, okay. Our coach Rudy T be writing on the board. He's like, okay, we're gonna run 5. But if Michael's on the right side, we're gonna run it on the left. Like, all right, say it one time, right? You think it's a joke. So I'm like, in my mind, I know Michael as Mike, so I'm still listening as he's still my boy, kind of. And he goes, okay, and we're gonna run 21, but if Michael's on the left side, we're gonna run, and he'd go down each play and say where Michael was, and we're gonna run it on a different side.
Yeah, that makes sense because he was all in those passing lanes. Jordan, I mean, year after year with his steals, not only that, his blocks, but mainly, you don't want to run the offense on the side of a guy who's going to just be rampaging all over the place in between all the passing lanes, picking up steals left and right. Get it away from him. It makes sense.
That's the impact defensively he had. Did they do that? I don't know if
Absolutely.
that's the part that even when I talk to coaches, they don't say that he has that impact. LeBron has the same effect on the offensive end that Michael has because it's passing, rebounding. But on the defensive end, that's the caveat that separates.
I'm glad somebody on mainstream actually called this out. It's something we've all been talking about, all of us old heads, for a long time. Which is also why, like, a guy like Tim Duncan or Kobe Bryant are higher on our GOAT list, because they are more complete players than LeBron James. And Michael Jordan, it's no contest. He's the most, like Kenny said, he's the most complete player that we've ever seen play this game. He did everything well. Passing, steals, blocks, just defense in general, like man-up defense. Offensively, God's gift. Rebounds, if I didn't say it, like you name it, he did it. Handling, jumping ability, athleticism, he had it all. So there's no competing with him. But then when we go down the list, it's not just LeBron automatic. It never should be, because LeBron is not a complete player. He plays offense, but he slacks off on defense. So he's getting knocked down. You know, you got Kobe Bryant, who played hard on both ends and very effectively on both ends. You got Tim Duncan, who did the same. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who did the same. From what I understand about Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, never got to see him play, but I've seen enough to know they played both ends very effectively. But LeBron never did. So why is LeBron why is he number 2 on a lot of people's list? I don't understand that part, because basketball is not football. American football, that is. We have to play both sides. So it's more like international football, which is, soccer here in the States. You have to play both sides of the ball in order to be a complete player.
Amen. Because you think the GOAT is who?
Amen. Oh, no. The GOAT is still LeBron. I hear you. I hear you.
Wow.
See, look at you putting the battery in the back.
I'm sitting back.
What makes him today? Because I have the same argument with my son.
Yeah, that's what I need your help.
Because the legacy that y'all
do it.
leave for Jordan, saying that he was 6-0 in the finals, is true. But y'all discredit the fact that he lost other times other than making it.
See, I don't
out the
lose.
finals.
That's a statistical thing that the other people. I told you, we from New York. We look peripheral too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kenny already said it though. Right before this, he said he's the most complete basketball player that's ever played. That's the GOAT criteria. The 6-0 is just a stamp. That's a nail in the coffin.
So then
We're saying this: if there's a game.
My life is on the
We're
line.
playing 3-on-3 in the park. There's a different impact that Michael has.
I agree, but I'm with you.
It doesn't have anything to do.
I'm with you on that.
It doesn't have anything to do. Do they do this? Let me say this. We used to do this on the bus. We go, all right, it's 10 seconds to go. The ball's at one end line, and you got to get the last second shot. Who you gonna take the last second shot?
Larry Bird, Michael Jordan.
But you can't put Mike in this.
Right.
We would say that.
Yeah, you can't. You can't pick Mike.
Put him in this talk.
That's true. We used to do that all the time. I forgot about that. Yeah, you can't pick Mike because we would always pick Jordan for everything. Life is on the line. You got to blah, 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 blah. Who you pick? Well, Michael Jordan. No. Anybody but Michael Jordan. We would do that all the time. And then we'd be like, all right, clutch shot. How about Larry Bird? Or if it's you need to take the ball up to court and run the offense for a play. All right, maybe we give it to Magic.
I guess it comes down to, because I hear what you're saying. I guess it comes down to, if I want one game, give me Michael. But
then
if
why
we
is that not your GOAT?
Yeah.
Because if we're talking about the GOAT, then how do you just discredit LeBron's legacy?
No, we're not discrediting.
But if you take it down to one game, then you take away LeBron's biggest benefit in the argument, which is his longevity.
No,
Okay, but at that point, then the 6-0 count even more than what he's saying. Who? This guy. Than what he's saying, because he's saying discredit the 6-0, and we're saying we don't even need the 6-0. Jordan's just hands down the best player that's ever played the game. But if you want to talk about legacy, like he brought up just a second ago, legacy, the longevity at that point, well, then Jordan 6-0 should be all you need. But like I said, we don't need it. He's just the best basketball player that's ever existed, hands down. Even this guy who has LeBron as his GOAT, if he was in the park and had to go and had to pick somebody to win the game, he's picking MJ. So he's kind of contradicting himself. Because I have Jordan as my GOAT. If I want to win a game, there's no way in hell I'm picking LeBron. I'm picking MJ all day, or Bird, or Magic, or Kareem, or a lot of guys before I would pick LeBron to win me a pressure situation game. Win or go home situation.
LeBron's biggest benefit in the argument, which is his longevity.
No, his longevity. But each game, I need one game in that year. I need one game in that year. I'm going with Michael. I need one game in that 21-year career. Every year, I'm going to be like, give me Michael. Give me Michael that year.
Yeah.
Give me Michael that year. Give me Michael that year.
Yeah, it's like if I need to win one game, I'm picking Mike. If I need one player that's going to help us win a championship this year, I'm picking Mike. So there's nothing in between.
This isn't a shot. We say this with great respect and admiration for what he's been able to do, but there's only one answer.
It's only.
Yep.
It's just LeBron is. I've never seen anybody to play this high level this long. I've never seen that. That is the GOAT of longevity. Yeah. Because the high level that he's playing at. But the best basketball player, if you take a 10 years that ever existed,
Mike.
I'd wear. No, I thought you had on Jordans. If you had on Jordans today, I was going to just really.
No. I love Mike. I think that it's him and LeBron at the top, depending on who you want to pick. I understand the difference in generations why y'all say that Jordan is the GOAT.
Yeah, but also
because we saw it. To be fair, now he's being fair because that is the difference. We saw it every day. WGN, baby. We saw every other day we got to see Michael Jordan play. So anytime we thought we were nuts and we were building him up too much, he proved it again the very next day. We got to check it out at night after school. And we got to see him. We got to see Kobe. We got to see LeBron's whole career. All these guys. That's why it is different for us because we've seen it all. We've been there. And that's why when somebody older than me talks about like Wilt Chamberlain or Bill Russell, I just say, okay. Like, I won't sit around and argue with them because I didn't get to see them live. So for me, if it's like, well, I didn't get to see them live. So if you got to see like Wilt and Russell live, hey, man, you talk to me about them. I want to hear from you about them because I've got no stories to tell other than what I've seen on TV or YouTube or from hearsay. But with MJ, I got to see his whole career. And I got to see Kobe and I got to see LeBron. And it's no comparison. It's no contest.
Even today, like, guys go, oh, well, you know, like, the Lakers, like, right now in a playing situation. And he's playing at a high level. But being a 10 seed, he can take his water. I got to drink. I got to sweat. He's sweating over there now. I got to sweat.
This is a crazy 2-on-1 right now. I'm going up against all-time grace on this argument.
Ain't nothing in the glass.
I wasn't prepared for this.
We got it back to the
Ooh, man.
No, but listen.
I would have looked at my LeBron stats.
You think about it, like, you're at the point where it's just, I don't care how great the longevity is. Like, he's a 10 seed right now, a 9 seed. I wasn't that great a player as LeBron. I'm not even. There's only one team that I've ever been on that wasn't in the top 10, even when I was the best player. I looked it up. I was like, dang, I would have made the play-in in Sacramento. I would have made the play-in.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Like, we were terrible.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, Jordan's Wizards could have made the play-in, I believe, too.
I would have made the play-in. I was the best player on a bad team, and we would have made the play-in. So, like, LeBron is great. Kobe Bryant is great. Y'all average players would have been average. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all average players, man. That's all I'm going to say, man. You know?
Oh, man.
You can't change. Like, listen, if
I might as well finish this up.
our esteemed colleagues in this show, you don't think Mace and Cam could rap today if they were 17?
Yeah.
They'd kill it.
Yeah.
They still Mace and Cam.
That's
Like,
right.
you know what I mean? They still the same them. Like,
Fair.
it's them.
That's fair.
But the average rappers from that today
Yeah.
would come back and they would be average today.
Yeah.
He called me one time with a very good NBA player, and the NBA player believed he was better than Jordan. And he was killing.
Wait,
I'm
what
not going to name the dude's name.
Was it
He's a
John
good-
Morant? Because I remember John Morant saying that a couple years back. Like, I would take it to him or whatever. Like, I would give him the business. It's just like, what are you even saying? You can't even play a whole season without getting in trouble, bro. Like, stop it.
Good player.
Why you not gonna name?
I'm gonna let him live. But he called me and was like, "This dude think he's better than
I
Jordan."
bet it's Ja.
Kenny, you want to say his name?
It's Ja.
No, I'm gonna let them. But I'm just saying, like, today's era of people, they always say, "Oh, we more athletic." I don't believe in more athletic. I'm. How many point guards been in a dunk contest?
Yeah.
I was in the dunk contest.
Yes, he was.
3 times.
3.
Came in second once. The great Dominique Wilkins. I don't see a lot of point guards. You're not more athletic.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. There's a lot of athletic guards. Are you more skilled? I don't believe so. Do you have better tricks? No, you just have tricks that are in vogue.
This
Like,
dude is killing
No,
everybody.
it's true though. The tricks that are being done now, we did those in a park, but you couldn't get away with that in the NBA in organized basketball because everything was called a travel back then. Now you're getting away with it in the NBA, but we were doing that stuff. At least we were doing that stuff in the 80s and 90s. I can't speak for before that, but we were doing all that stuff in the park. But yeah, park rules were different than NBA rules, but now park rules are the same as NBA rules. It doesn't matter if you travel; you can get away with it as long as it looks good. So it's true. It's not a more skill kind of thing. It's what you can. It's what the rules. Again, going back to it, it's because of the rule changes that we're here.
This is crazy.
No, you have
Yeah, get it off. Get it off.
No, you have tricks that are in vogue.
Yeah.
Like when we were coming up, the killer crossover, Tim Hardaway, that was in vogue.
Yeah.
Now it's the step side step.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a different movement. Yeah. Great players today would have been great. Kevin Durant would have came in our era and been great. Go down the line, the top five players. But then
It gets a little sticky.
it starts to get sticky.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. It starts to get sticky because of the rule change.
And vice versa. If we're talking, I'm going to be fair here. If we're talking about current rules, excuse me, 2024 NBA rules, there were a lot of players in the 80s and 90s who wouldn't get any game time now because they weren't that type of shooter. You know what I mean? They were more specialists, so they were more defensive minded, or they were like true big men. Stuff like that. So I'll be fair about that. They would have to do the same thing. They would have to alter their game to the modern rules, and not every single one of them would make it. They wouldn't make the cut. So a lot of them would if their game was adaptable. But I'll say the same thing about the current generation. If you're not going to play defense, like you don't play defense now in 2024, if you can't adapt to the old way and play harder on the defensive end than the offensive end, you're not going to get any game time either. So I see what Kenny's saying, because average is going to be average in the transition between generations. It's going to happen, and the stars are probably going to convert. But the whole point is, it doesn't make this generation better than the old generation. There's a lot of talented players now, but the rules are soft as all hell. So it's hard to compare now.
So guys who are in the league now would not be in the league. That's all. And even some of the guys that we had wouldn't be in this league because they couldn't shoot.
Yep.
But some of those guys who think that they are Michael Jordan, bro, you would have came off our bench.
Mm-hmm.
Like, came off our bench.
So final word for the average player.
You would have been average. You are average right now. You just getting paid more now.
Just getting paid
like
more.
our average guy was getting like 800,000.
Yeah.
You're getting 8 million. Yeah. That's it. But you would have been average. You still would have been average. You wouldn't have won the college basketball player of the year. You wouldn't have been drafted 5th. You would have been still drafted in the 2nd round. Like, come on, man.
It seems like you got some names in your mind. You know,
He does. He's not going to let him live, though.
Listen, I got social media just like y'all. I started laughing.
Yeah.
I would have been killing. No, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have killed in that era. He was average.
Oh, man.
And it is the whole, like, Jordan can't go left. Can you imagine if Jordan actually couldn't go left? And despite only being able to go one way, he was the greatest scorer of all time. Like, I saw it in the comments of a video a while ago of one of my reactions, and that one stuck with me so much because it was like that would actually enhance the legacy of Jordan. But like, yeah, he was that good. He could only go one direction. Like he averages 37 points in a season, and he could only go right. Like, could you imagine if that was actually true? But of course, it's BS, dude. Like Kenny said, complete. He was complete.
Let's give a shout out to our sponsors, Underdog Fantasy.
Oh,
Click the
man,
link
this
in the
is a good
description
pod.
below and use the promo code MARK. Play the pick'em game, man. That's our favorite.
That does it for this episode of the Mark Jackson Show. Thanks to a special shout out and a special friend, Kenny the Jet Smith, the legend. Certainly appreciate it. Remember, just recently in the Florida Keys, they realized that a bunch of fish, all sorts of fish, was dying. And they researched, and it was because they've been circling all day and all night, just circling around in the water until they died. They hired some experts to get to the bottom of it to try to save the fish. To those experts, I got a job when you finish with the fish, because I know some folks who's been circling the neighborhood, circling bad habits, circling selfishness and ungratefulness 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I don't want them to die. Salute.
Wow. Wow, they ended with a heavy message. Okay. I'm not sure what the context is there, but that was a good message towards the end there. But, okay. So, I don't know what to say on the outro here. Like, that was awesome. I thought he was just Kenny Smith was just gonna blow up about the disrespect of the current league, but I totally got blindsided with the whole like we done with the 90s and Jordan can't go left thing, because that totally took this conversation in another direction. But that was really cool. I have no idea how long this video is at this point, so I should probably wrap it up. I thought I was gonna play like a 10-minute segment here, but I couldn't stop. That was such a good podcast. I don't disagree with anything that Mark Jackson or especially Kenny Smith said there. I think he's dead on. He's dead on about every single topic. And yeah, for me, Michael Jordan, hands down, he's the most complete player I've ever seen. I'm waiting for that next guy. I've been waiting, but still to this day, there's nobody who could challenge that position. So I'm hoping in my lifetime I get to see somebody who's better on both ends of the court, athletic, plays lockdown defense, has the clutch gene in him, is a true champion multiple times, and did it the right way without super team building. Wow, the longer I list out the criteria, the harder it seems like I'm ever going to live to see that guy. But I really hope I do. Ant-Man, sorry, I don't think it's you, bro. Like, I don't think it's you, man. I don't think it's you, and it was your disrespect that is causing all of this stuff. It's causing a lot of this retaliation. It's not just you. It was JJ Redick with his plumbers and firemen analogy. It's LeBron James constantly disrespecting everybody, prompting the whole, like, we done with the 90s. And Jordan can only go left. Like, it's not just you, Ant-Man, but you're the most recent one. Instead of being better than everybody when it comes to this and actually like respecting the previous greats, you had to just fall right in line and say some dumb shit. So, good luck to you. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Check out the Mark Jackson Show. I'm linking it down below if you're interested in this podcast. I'm gonna subscribe here, right there. And I'm going to keep an eye out on this podcast because it's really seems really cool so far. Anyways, everyone, have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you all later. I'll see you all in the comments. Let me know what you thought, and we'll have a conversation about it, okay? All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day ahead of you.